Empires are the end result of the negative sides of all psychological types. Because the majority of people are operating from their lower minds and disconnected from spirit or some other internal compass, they must, through necessity, be controlled by exterior means. The most insecure and therefore controlling and power-hungry are the negative sides of Scorpio and Capricorn. Scorpio-type psychologies can use their powers of perceptivity and manipulation to get what they obsessively desire. This, combined with their propensity for power struggles and wanting to feel safe by being at the top, can be a ruthless combination. Being ruled by Pluto, this is the psychology which is responsible for our pyramid and hierarchical power structures, where members at the top of society are safe from the consequences of their own actions, because the people at the bottom are the ones that have to suffer through them. Negative Capricorn psychologies are more steely and dry, but just as ruthless. Capricorn welcomes the sun into its tomb, where he remains dead for the 3 months of winter. It's the goat who must live through the hardest and most challenging time of the year, doing what's necessary to survive. For this reason, he holds money, and therefore resources, and the law in highest esteem. There's nothing wrong with following moral codes. However, the negative Capricorn, combined with the negative Scorpio, will be writing his own laws to ensure his own survival, usually to the detriment of others. With these two combined, they manipulate the powers of the goddess Neptune, casting spells of illusion, creating fantasies and fairy tales to manipulate the masses. This is sorcery, breaking down the psyche of the collective consciousness, using everyone's weakest point as a weapon against them. Jesus is our Savior because the higher-minded sun illuminates, making people realize the horror of their actions. Seeing this, the brave and courageous, higher-minded Mars will fight. The sorcerers know this, and so refined sun psychologies are suppressed, mocked, exiled, or even eliminated. And without the ability to see, Mars is manipulated to chase after lusts and be used in service to the empire. On the plus side, the reality is that the power of Pluto and Saturn are illusions, creations swathed over our eyes through Neptune's talents. The people in government, religious institutions, and media only have power because we think they do, and therefore we give it to them. In actuality, we all come from the same source, and therefore we have equal power. Badges and certificates are just pieces of metal and paper. How can lower-minded emperors lead lower-minded people to salvation? To combat a sorcerer, you must become friends with your shadow self, therefore uniting your psychology and thus healing your fractured mind and/or soul. Seek maturity and spiritual wisdom over hedonistic pleasure-seeking and ego gratification. Bring forth the best qualities of your psychological makeup. Refine what's already good about you and minimize the challenging parts of you. This is how we become free and prosperous. This is how we create heaven on earth. The sun is exalted not because he's better than us or because he's an overlord, but because he reminds us that we're equal and have the power to manifest a beautiful and enlightened society. This process is also called alchemy, to turn lead into gold. Saturn is associated with lead, which is the lowest vibrating and dense element. The sun is associated with gold, which is a higher vibrational element. Through alchemy, one can shift from their lower mind to their higher. Alchemy is not about the material world. It's about the interior one. It's the science of changing and refining your own psyche. This can be exemplified in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, where Professor Snape teaches Harry how to control his mind so that Voldemort can't hack into it and manipulate him. Professor Snape is a potions teacher. In the first movie, he introduced himself with the statement, "I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can tell you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death." Snape is also a Slytherin, who are dormed in the downstairs part of the school. Being downstairs and associated with the snake is talking about the R-complex of the mind, the survival instincts of man. The snake is also a constellation in Scorpio, all of which are symbolic for deep psychology, the unconscious and inner recesses of the mind. This is why Snape is a potions teacher. Potions in the Harry Potter series is symbolic for alchemy, psychology. Being a scorpionic figure, Snape possesses deep knowledge and power of people's psychology and how to control and manipulate it. In the Order of the Phoenix, Harry, the Sun character, was struggling with Voldemort getting into his mind and manipulating him, giving him negative thoughts and thwarting him off course. Dumbledore had Snape give Harry occlumency lessons, where Harry learns to control his mind. Occlumency makes me think of occultism. The occult is that which is hidden from view, like one's deep psychology. Snape takes Harry downstairs to his office, where he teaches him about his mind, its fears, and how to overcome them and control it so that negative outside forces can't manipulate him anymore. This is the transformative and healing power of Scorpio. Snape is Scorpio at her best. We know this not only through his acts of heroism and sacrifice, but also because of his love for Lily, Harry's mother. Lily Potter is symbolic for Mother Mary. Mary is symbolic for the sacred feminine principle of care, love, and compassion. The fact that Snape had a deep love and connection for Lily is symbolic for this particular Scorpio choosing the higher-minded path. Whereas Voldemort is Scorpio at her worst. Voldemort is even the one who murders Lily, just as those at the top of an empire must rid the population of care and compassion. This creates the breeding ground for war, strife, and chaos. Break down societal relationships, and the people have no choice but to depend on the empire. Voldemort symbolizes the catastrophic and oppressive empire, whereas Snape helps the sun herald in the new age of heaven.